So here's where we're at with the Ram tractor. I got it. It's all put together. Have a little inside here, and I have a little shelter area, and I do have tin that goes up here. It's gonna slant down. I'm gonna put a thing here. The problem I have though, I've got wheels on both corners. Oh, I took that one off, but I got wheels on both corners. Wheel there. I put a wheel in the middle, and let me walk around. I've got so much weight that my wheel, the axle broke right out of my wheel. So we're gonna take like, what is it, 4 or 5 with the Ram tractor, and I'm actually just gonna take that wall and bring it in here. I'm gonna get a piece of cattle panel that's only 8 foot long instead of the 16. I'm gonna use that for the back wall so I won't have a cattle panel. And I'm gonna make an 8x16 Ram tractor for now so we can get them in it. And I'll keep working. I'm not gonna cut any of my cattle panels. I have a chunk that's 8 foot long, so I'm gonna keep working on it. But today I'm gonna get it built 8x16 so I can get them in it and get them moving around.
Because the last time we left off,
you were doing... what it's gonna do, I think.
Oh, okay. You want to just explain to me what you did?
So we took the panels that I had for the edges. They're still 16 foot. And we used those, and then we just made a 8 foot long back. Made the back out of tin, and then we found a 8 foot old piece of cattle panel, so we went to cut the new ones. Put it in the front, and we braced it across the 8 foot in a couple of points.
So you decreased it in half.
Yeah, we cut it in half.
Just so we could get it out sooner.
Yep.
Are you still planning on building a 16 by 16 foot one?
Yeah, we're gonna try it. Might have to buy the lumber that's 16 foot instead of trying to piece 2 pieces together.
So what do you think the biggest downfall of that 16 by 16 one was?
It was the middle kept bending in.
Yep.
So we couldn't have any solution.
And we didn't have a way to, the tires kept breaking off too, because that one broke off.
Okay, so what would you recommend for people who are wanting to build one of these?
I'd say buy brand new lumber instead of trying to just piece things together.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because you said the biggest issue was like here, it was kind of...
It was here when it was 16. because I didn't have that brace right there, so it was a whole 16 feet to the other side with nothing bracing it up.
Yeah. So
either one long piece, yeah, I think I'd have to go long piece.
yeah. So I think
And put a wheel in the middle.
No. Do you think that it would be better if it was like a 2x4 along the bottom, 16-foot 2x4, and then a 16-foot 2x4 along the top, so that it was all like framed in, and then you could do your...
I think we'd need them here, 16 foot, to go across a couple places this way. I don't know if we'd need one this way.
Oh, it would provide more support.
Yeah.
Because then instead of relying on the strength of the cattle panels, you're relying on your frame to move it. And then probably a wheel in each corner, and maybe some in the one in the center.
If you could put, because they wouldn't be able to push it, so if you could put 6 wheels on it, it'd be a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then you wouldn't have to pick it up.
Yeah. But considering
then it's sitting on the weight of the wheel. All that weight is on the wheel.
And also in the middle, you would have, instead of just having 6, you would have to have more, because in the middle it would bend in.
I think we'd make it the shelter all the way across the back then.
But
we had the boards to do it.
Considering we can't go to the lumber yard to get the lumber right now, and we're using what we have on hand, we're pretty good.
This turned out pretty nice.
Yep. We'll have to move it twice a day, probably maybe 3 times a day when they actually get on it. But what's the plan for right now with this?
We're going to put this and attach it just to what they're in right now. They're existing. And we used the other 2 cattle panels to extend it. So now they're going to have a really big area.
Yeah, because our grass is just starting to turn green. So we have a while before we can start grazing yet. And so we're just getting them used to this and extending their area that they had, their area from when they were quarantined, because we've had them for about 5 or 6 weeks now. So they're okay to be out of quarantine now. So we're going to start putting them in the pasture. So we're just expanding their area for a bit until we can start grazing them. There's a hole there.
That corner.
Which corner?
Right there. We're going to try to scoot it back. Right. Just walk it back.
Nice.
Sit down.
Might be able to get it on the hitch.
You have the bone. See, we tighten this a little bit.
So while we were doing that, Lily was scrubbing out the watering trough. Getting it nice and clean. The goldfish is ready to go back in, and we were cleaning out the pasture. These are the cattle panels that we had used before, and that we had over in a corner just as a wind block. So that's out of there. We're getting all this junk that accumulated over the winter and blew away in the winter, getting that out. So it's looking good. So dry right now. Everything is just powder and dust. So we put out the sprinkler while we were out here working. But we got this area pretty big. It's at least 32 by 32 right now, the way it's set up, if we were to extend that. But then we're gonna have the new tractor off of it. But we got that all raked up, put the sprinkler in there so it wasn't so dry.
off this back. I'm holding the wheel. So,
So tell me what you're doing, Owen.
we're replacing this wheel with a bike tire wheel. See if. Sorry. Get it? Alright, back up a little bit so if it falls you don't get hit by anything. This is the only thing I know to use for an axle. It's bent already. Let's see if a bolt was the same size as that spacer, it would work a lot better.
Here you go.
Okay, Beck. There's 2 washers for you.
I got 2 too.
Okay.
Big one on first. Add a little bit more. I made a machine, Dad.
That's pretty impressive, Beck. Maybe you should wear shoes though.
Alright, let's get that out here and see if it works.
Well, so you don't rip the skin off of your toes. Yeah, that'd be a pretty uncomfortable unicycle. That's impressive, Beck. Good job.
Get up, walk your way.
Got the back one up. So it makes it so it doesn't bend.
Forward another 6 inches.
Yep, ready, Beck? 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're just gonna move the whole cart over.
So if I pick up the front,
Yep. And then we're gonna walk my way. Tell me when you're ready.
Yep. Ready.
Okay, go. Okay. Now can we go? Can we come back, straighten this part out a little bit so that door gets a little bit straighter? Good. Now we have to come my way 1 more foot back. Gotta pick those tires up off the ground though. Don't push yet. Okay.
I just let you pull.
Nice. Huh, now you're on the outside. We're on the inside.
welp.
Hey, back.
Guys, we have a gate right there.
Okay, this is what I need. Just wait for that. I need a wire cutter. I need the little tiny screws. We're gonna put up a strap. So you need little tiny screws, a wire cutter, and the drill that does that. The drill that does that is out here. Okay? Okay, Lo, get the T-post pounder.
There you go. Good job, Lo.
And it makes it very hard to get them out.
Yep. That's what we want, I think. So now we need twine and another T-post. That's the long fix up there. Unless you got it.
Okay. Can you pick it up again? Not too.
Can we go back towards you anymore? Oh, perfect.
There we go. There.
Pick up all those pieces and put them in that.
T-post pounder drop. Because it's washed away all of the dirt.
Where does it wash away to?
Well, considering there was none to begin with.
Look at it. You see, like, there's dirt up there, but not there. And then there's dirt beyond that.
Do you think it's lower here than it is everywhere else?
Listen,
Should break this thing.
Mom said not to because that would be, like, the sand will be.
Hi, boys.
Right there. Just make one little.
I'll make it so we can get it.
I don't think that they'll come out with you standing there.
Have to get their water out here. Oh, they only
Hi.
have a little thing now, don't they?
Back.
Don't tie a knot.
I think my boys' ones are gonna be like
It's
fun.
a way so you can just pull that out.
They're already starting to, like, they're up and they're starting to, like, curve that way.
Let me show you.
Come on, boys. Come on.